family here with us on Q100.7 FM for another edition of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital Pulse Radio Show, episode 3. And we had a first good 2 episodes, of course, with our executive team members, namely the Chief Executive Officer, Mr. Neil Clark, and Miss Louise Bob, the Chief Operations Officer acting. We thank them for coming and sharing more of the strategy with us here on the show. And today we're going to divert a bit from the strategy, still a part of it, because the strategy is really about how we enhance healthcare delivery right across the board. So most of the topics we are covering here on the Pulse Radio Show are geared towards that. And this time we are dealing with a very special population at our hospital, and we will get into that shortly. But before we get into the details of what is a special program launched by one of our specialists there, I want to share with you some of the updates on that blood collecting drive that we had last week, and I will get some fuller details for you within the week. And we always encourage you, our listeners, to go to our website www.qehconnect.com to find out everything that is happening with our hospital. Any questions you may have, they can be answered there as well. And then if you have further questions, you can always contact us at our patient advice and liaison service. That's 536-4800. And of course you can come through the hospital PBX at 436-6450. But scores of people gave the gift of life last week from the 8th to the 12th for what was Blood Donors Week for us here in Barbados, and then World Blood Donors Day was over the weekend. But it was all about raising awareness about giving the gift of life, giving blood. A number of private sector agencies are signing on for the cause, and we're so happy that they did that. I'll pull up that list so I can tell you who they are, so that we can really salute them in a big way here on the Pulse Radio Show. But I also want to encourage, so yes, we had Blood Donor Week, World Blood Donor Day over the weekend as well, but I want to keep encouraging corporate Barbados, first of all, to keep that drive going. Don't just wait for this special occasion this week and this special month of June to donate blood. That's perfect. But other companies, other corporate entities, other businesses, you can say, look, let me pick July, let me pick August, let me pick September, and find your way down to the Lady Mead Gardens and go and meet up with Wendy Lord, the manager of the Blood Collecting Center, the National Blood Collecting Center, and give that gift of life all year round. It is a blood bank that we have at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, and you, through these efforts that we saw last week, have helped to replenish that blood bank. But daily we see the trauma cases come in. Daily we see the motor vehicle accidents as well, and the results of patients needing blood from our blood bank. So we have those donations during the week, and then we have withdrawals at the hospital, especially when our doctors conduct surgeries. People need that blood. So all year round, not just during the month of June, you pick a month and designate that as your blood drive month or your blood drive week during the year. And let's keep that blood flowing into the National Blood Collecting Center, into our blood bank, make those deposits so that we can continue to replenish what has been depleted when we do these surgeries and other cases where individuals, your loved ones, need that gift of life. But we thank everyone, all of the donors and the corporate entities and just average Barbadians who came in during the week to donate that gift of life. So now to get into today's topic, and before we do that, I think we have a call already. So let's go to the call, and then we'll come back to today's topic, because I didn't even get a chance to mention that. And of course, you can call us. The numbers to call 434-1007 and 434-1070. Good morning, first caller. Welcome to the Pulse Radio Show. How can we assist?
Peace be unto you and yours, the staff, and to all listeners. And if you have any guests there, the same to you. Gillian?
Hi.
I'm glad, and I hope that people would come out and give blood. 'Cause as you say, accidents and other emergencies, you need the blood. So just hope that Barbadians will come out in the full numbers and donate. I just called to say thank you very much for responding to the lady last week, and I thank you for receiving my call very much. Yes. Hopefully on the 23rd. So I'm just hoping for the best.
And I will explain a bit more about what you're speaking about, because it's a general concern that some people may have about the medication delivery service.
No, I'm talking about the surgery first.
Oh.
The lady with the surgery.
Okay.
But now with the medication now, we are waiting on. I send the information to you, so I just reminding you. But I just want to say thank you.
I'm glad you remind me, because my mind is very busy dealing with so many different things. But I am always thankful for these reminders.
Right. I send off the information for you, and she don't have nothing. You will be able to
assist.
Put us through to the work path that she can get them before the week out.
No problem.
So I just want to say thanks again.
You're welcome.
They said that they had 9 lepers and only 1 returned. So I am from that lineage. I'm not ungrateful. So I must say thank you. When you want licks, I can give you licks.
And we get technical with grace.
Right. And when you want praising, I will praise you.
Thank you.
So I thank you again, and thank you. And I hope the young lady will get the surgery on time. But you can still check it out still. And
you can buzz me after the show, and let's continue our discussion.
All right. Thank you very much. God bless you. Keep Barbados in the right path, and I hope that our health system will try and go back to the way it was before.
Well, we have a strategy that is going to help us raise the bar on the delivery of care. And you don't have to worry. The government, and by extension, the Ministry of Health and the Queen Elizabeth Hospital is being guided to improve the delivery of care to all patients who come through our doors. Another quick caller, and then let's get into today's topic, which will be an interesting one, and we will want to hear your take on it. Those of you listening to us on Q100.7 FM. Good morning, caller. Welcome to the Pulse Radio Show. How can we assist?
Thank you, and good morning.
Good morning.
I just want to inquire, find out how long ago that it was changed with the delivery of medication, where you used to leave the prescription at the particular clinic, wherever it is, and the medication will be sent. I attended there last week, and at a particular clinic.
Which clinic is this? At the hospital?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
This is the eye clinic.
Right.
And I don't know, I've not been there for a couple of months, but last week when I went, and at the end of everything, I said, oh yes, it's to be delivered. And the lady, she was not too pleasant. I was saying, we don't do that anymore like that. I said, oh, so what do I do? And you got to go to the dispensary. Now I know it's 1,000 people down there.
1,000?
I have a problem with mobility.
Right.
Anyhow, we went down, and the person who was taking me there went and asked a question after a long time. I was told 2 doors around the corner. We saw a gentleman named Blue that works in there also. He was upstairs earlier. Asked him, and he got on not too good either. Anyhow, we walked around and counted the 2 doors that looked like they weren't used. Anyhow, we stood up there and just looking to see. And a young man came from, I don't know where, very, very, very pleasant young man. Daddy, you looking for the asked if you're looking for the place to think. He said, he's come, you follow me. And he just opened the door and showed us just to take the prescription in. I've since received my medication, everything, got it late last week. No problem with that there. But I am saying I should see a sign either at the clinic or some near the dispensary somewhere to tell me that it has changed, and I would have to do that. You got to walk about to find. I never heard about it. Heard that the place you don't leave it there again.
All right, so it's something that we would have to definitely address internally. But I can tell you, anytime that you have challenges with your medication, you always can call 536 4804. You got the number. Monday to Friday between 9 a.m. and 3 p.m.
Yes, I know that very well.
Right. So once you call there, and sometimes, you may call and the phone may ring off. You may not get through, but it will go to the... Exactly.
Right, and they do return your calls. I have no problem with that. But it's just the manner of the person in the eye department at the time. When she said, we don't do that anymore. Because she had to put on anymore because I know it used to be done.
Right.
And then you got to go to dispensary. And as I said, 1,000 people just be down there.
Right, and that is what I said. If there's some people who love that way, believe it or not. There's some people who love to go to the dispensary and sit down and relax and chat and just, have that as their downtime, really, during the day. But for those of you who have very busy schedules and would prefer they just come to your door, and you give them the advice there, when you call the number, you don't even have to go down there. Just call the number and explain to them what is on the prescription, right?
Yes.
And once they see, they would be able on the phone to verify
they
your
go back
details.
In the and see the details. I know that.
Yeah, so you don't have to go through that, but it is unfortunate. We do apologize for the experience, and we just hope that you continue to support and be supported by the medication delivery service.
Thank you very much.
But I appreciate your calling, though. Thanks for calling and letting us know how your experience was. So, yes, today's topic, Dr. Birchwood, Dr. Gillian Birchwood is here. I've kept her in the chair for far too long, sitting down, listening to me, speak about all of these other great initiatives, but I know that she has been very busy and she's very happy to be here because we're going to talk about not only her baby, but her baby as well. Her babies and her baby. So Dr. Gillian Birchwood, she is the head of pediatrics at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. She's also a consultant neonatologist and NICU lead. So she has recently, with the team and working in partnership with a very special friend of the hospital, developed what we call a groundbreaking initiative. And I'll let her tell you the name and tell you all about it. Good morning, Dr. Birchwood. Always great to talk to you. You may have heard her speak about it recently on Morning Barbados, but we got to bring it here to the radio show as well, because we want more and more people to understand what is happening in terms of developing care at all levels, even for our littlest, our smallest, our tiniest charges. Dr. Gillian Birchwood, good morning. Talk to us about this new initiative.
Good morning, Shane, and good morning to all the listeners on this bright and cheerful Monday morning. I'm sure everybody's happy it's Monday. I am. I can't speak for everybody else. I get to see the smallest little patients on our newborn intensive care unit. Before we talk about the newborn screening, I just wanted to add to your plug about going to the blood collecting center and donating blood. A lot of people don't realize that in addition to the adults who require surgery, children who are undergoing cancer treatment will frequently require blood and blood products, and our newborn premature babies frequently require blood products. So some of that blood definitely goes to our little ones. So I want our listeners to remember that and be generous with the gift of life. And literally it means life for our little patients. So I just wanted to add that plug.
You're very right. The more, the merrier. And we've seen what I would call a really positive response from Barbadians between the 8th and the 12th of June. Wendy Lord, she couldn't join me on any program. She's the manager of the department because she was busy just dealing with those patients. We also had some response online. Some of the people, some people mentioning some concern. I remember, and it's something that we will respond to as well later on in terms of how the proper approach and the proper way to do things in the blood collecting center. But we are really happy, really happy with the turnout, and we really applaud Barbadians and ask them to continue to do that same thing.
Thank you, Barbados.
Round.
Thank you, Barbados. It means a lot to our kids too. But back to what we were going to be talking about, our very exciting initiative that we are undergoing right now. It has been rolled out from May the 18th. Some parents out there would already be aware that we have extended our newborn screening program from being a basic program to being a comprehensive newborn screening program, such as you would have access to if your child was born in the United States, Canada, the United Kingdom, and parts of Europe. We have a similar initiative, and we are very proud and happy that we have this partnership with the Shaw Center for Pediatric Excellence. And I'm also very happy for the support we have received from our own hospital. It has been tremendous. So we're very happy to bring this to Barbados.
I want you to peg back and connect this to the program in its current form today. How long have you been working, one, at the hospital as a consultant and specialist in the field? First, I don't want you to lose the train of thought in terms of the questions. So you go ahead with those first, and then I will connect the other part. You'll understand what I'll tell you in a moment.
Well, I've been working at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital for 20 years this year.
Wow.
Only 20 years, and it has been a very stimulating part of my career.
Only 20 years.
Only 20 years, right? Which means I'm about 22,
right? Yeah, of course. Doogie Hauser.
But, it has been a very rewarding part of my career to have worked here at the QH, to be able to give back to the public of Barbados and to do what I love so much, which is to look after small and premature babies. I can't think of anything more rewarding than doing that, than being able to hand babies to their parents who they did not think would survive, or to comfort those who we tried very hard but they were not able to survive is also a privilege.
Okay. And the reason I asked that, seeing where you have come from with the basic screening program to where you are now, what is the feeling like, not only for you but with your team, because it's a team effort that has been working to make this journey to where we are today to offer first world pediatric care?
It is a feeling which gives me great joy, and also it makes me proud to work at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital and with the partners who have made this happen. It is something that is going to allow children to have a chance at life, at having a normal life that they would not have been able to have before. With newborn screening, it means that we are going to be checking children for diseases that show up later in life, in their early childhood in particular, which if we did not pick them up, it would mean that they would become ill and develop irreversible damage. If we pick these conditions up early, we're able to do something about it early, and then we're able to allow them, in most cases, to have a normal life. And that's an amazing thing, because children don't show symptoms for a lot of these conditions in the beginning. And if you're able to catch it before they even show symptoms and start treatment or observe them so that we're able to intervene when things start to change, that gives a child a life back, a family their child back. Our society is having that child back and be able to contribute fully, and that is an amazing thing to me.
So what kind of illnesses, health challenges are we speaking about that previously would have been picked up later, and as you said, can be irreversible and can make it difficult to have a normal life as a child?
Yes. So there's 6 main groups of conditions. So it's about 40-something, nearly 50 conditions that children will be screened for. And we'll start off with something that commonly affects our population, which is sickle cell disease and its variants. So many people may have heard about sickle cell disease or know someone who has it. But in sickle cell disease, the shape of the red blood cells, which is normally circular, is shaped like a sickle. And that means that it cannot carry oxygen the way that the normal red blood cells do. And so people who have sickle cell disease can have painful crises because they're not able to get oxygen to different parts of their body. It can be very painful. They can have life-threatening conditions, life-threatening infections. It can really alter the quality of their life. Children may miss a lot of school. And so if you're able to pick this up early, we can, along with our team from hematology, and we recently had a child we picked up who has this condition at birth, and so we were able to pair up with our pediatric hematologist, that's Dr. Brown Farmer, in order to determine how we should manage this child, counsel the parents, make them aware well in advance before symptoms ever show up. Symptoms typically show up around 6 months or so, but they can show up later, and they can show up in a life-threatening manner. So now this child could be picked up very early. Treatment can be started, preventative management, which can help to prevent those changes which can be permanent, life-altering, and really can affect the quality of that child's and that family's life. So that's one group of conditions.
Right. So before you go on to the next group, I just want to get a better understanding and help our audience to understand how major this is. So you pick up the sickle cell trait early. Are you saying that that child that years ago would be living with sickle cell in pain and the challenges associated and connected with that, what will life be like now that you have this program to make that early intervention?
So the sickle cell trait itself doesn't come with complications. People will be unaware if they have the trait.
Right.
But the full-blown sickle cell disease, of which there are variants,
Right.
can cause severe infections, which may start before you even detect it. So a child may have a severe infection related to sickle cell disease before they get a diagnosis.
Right.
That, in fact, may be how they end up with the diagnosis. They can also develop the complications of having anemia, which again may not show up until later on in early childhood. And they can have what we call crises. So not just painful crises, but also their different organs can be severely affected. So in the case of a baby who's picked up with it, you can start putting them on supportive nutrients such as folic acid, which is a problem when you have sickle cell disease. They can be put on preventative antibiotics to prevent them from developing some of the life-threatening infections they can have. And they can be put on special medications earlier, one of which is called hydroxyurea, and that really helps to really minimize the complications associated with when their blood changes from baby blood to more adult type sickle cell blood. So these are treatments and preventions that they can avail themselves of, in addition to having the family aware from early so they understand how their lifestyle needs to be adjusted. It's not going to prevent all the complications, but can significantly reduce them and the damage that comes along with it, and therefore improve their long-term outcome.
And quality of life.
And quality of
for
life.
sure.
Yes.
So now let's look at some of the other groupings.
Right. So there's another group of conditions called metabolic diseases. Individually, these may be quite rare, but as a group, all of them can actually be quite common if you look at all of them as a group. And these are notorious because children with these conditions may show up in later life with things like developmental delay, with damage to their various organs, and it can take a long time to make these diagnoses. So metabolic diseases are where the body is unable to break down certain substances in foods like proteins, fats, and carbohydrates. They may have a problem in how their body breaks that down and end up with excessives of certain nutrients and not enough of others, which affects how their body functions. And a lot of these are associated with damage. And it's very important to pick these up early. We have also picked up a child with one of these in the couple of weeks since we started this program. That child would probably not have had that diagnosis for a couple of years. And so this really makes a difference, because if you're able to institute the right treatment, which often means dietary changes, then you can actually prevent all the complications that go along with it and spare the parents several years of misery and the child trying to figure out what's really going on and knowing that something is wrong but not quite what.
Wow. Wow. And I mean, as you mentioned, there are more groups
Yes.
of healthcare issues that you will be able to intervene now at the earliest possible stage.
Yes.
To help patients have a better quality of life. And you speak about the partnership with the Shaw Center.
Yes.
How was that? Or really, they're like our sister agency.
Yes.
Instrumental in making this a reality.
So the Shaw Center, as you know, has had a partnership with the Queen Elizabeth Hospital and indeed wider Barbados regarding pediatric concerns for the past 7 years or so. And during that time, they have really brought a number of pivotal initiatives to light. And this is one where we have always been interested in having a newborn screening program, but being able to afford it would have been a challenge. And so this is where they stepped up and made this suggestion. And we were very much on board with going forward with this because we recognize the importance of it. So although they are helping us with this pilot program at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, where we will be screening 5,000 children, we are going to be working with our own local facilities here to continue that program even beyond the time of funding. And so what the funding allows us to do is to identify the more common conditions in our population and then streamline them to screen specifically for those things that we are more likely to find in our population, as opposed to the population in Canada where this testing is sent. So at this point in time, all of the tests that are done for the dried blood spot screening are sent to Newborn Screening Ontario. And we have the same panel of tests done that the children who are born there have as well, which is a tremendous advantage. So the Shaw Center was able to make this happen through the funding that they provided and the guidance and support in getting this program off the ground.
So approximately, I know we shared a release with the public, and remember you can connect with all of this information on our website as well, www.qehconnect.com. 5,000 newborns are expected to be screened during the program's initial pilot phase.
Yes.
That's big.
Yes, that's big. And it's going to allow us to understand better what's happening in our population. We can't take, data from the United States or, UK or Slovenia and say that applies to us here in Barbados. We need to understand what's happening here with our kids in our region to be able to know what is going to be most worthwhile for screening, so we're able to pick these things up early. For example, cystic fibrosis is very common in the Northern European population. It's a condition where your body has problems with breathing and growth. And we have a small population here in Barbados, but again, late diagnosis. In other countries, they diagnose this at the time of birth and are able to intervene and prevent these children from having the long-term complications of this condition, which can be life-limiting without proper early treatment.
Remember, you can call us here on the Pulse Radio Show as we speak about our groundbreaking newborn screening program to detect serious conditions before symptoms begin. You can call us at 434-1007 or 434-1070. Also send us a WhatsApp if you need to at 434-1007. And thank you for those of you listening to us live online at cbc.bb /100.7 FM. We'll take a short break here and come back with more on the Pulse Radio Show as we speak about the newborn screening program at our hospital.
For all your medical supply needs, visit MedSafe Medical Supplies Limited. We offer a wide range of products including wheelchairs, walkers, canes, crutches, blood pressure machines, stethoscopes, and so much more. Conveniently located on Gemmett's Lane, just a 2-minute walk from the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And for your convenience, we deliver free to the QEH. Open Monday to Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Call us at 624-7542. MedSafe Medical Supplies Limited, your trusted source for medical essentials.
Back with you on the Pulse Radio Show. I'm with Dr. Gillian Birchwood, a consultant neonatologist, head of the Pediatrics department at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, as we talk about this groundbreaking newborn screening program providing first world care for our infants, babies at our hospital. Dr. Birchwood, so good to have you here with me. Where do we go next as we talk about what this program means for the hospital?
Yes, so I would like families to be aware of what to expect when they go to the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And I'd like to give a shout out to the team. So the team is not just me, it's also Dr. Tanisha Austin, who's a neonatologist at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And we have Nurse Leah and Nurse Sherelle. I promised you all I would call you all names. Right?
They should be here.
Yes, they should be here, but they were a bit shy. But I just want you to know these are all the people who are on the team. And so when mothers go to the hospital to give birth, then the day or so after their baby is born, then they are going to be invited to have the newborn screening done. So although we have added dried blood spot screening, there are other aspects of newborn screening which we have been doing for well over a decade. And that includes screening for certain types of critical heart conditions that babies can be born which is a very simple test of the oxygen levels, which moms will see their little ones have. Then we also have a test for newborn hearing screening. Very important. It isn't just, can my baby hear loud sounds? They need to be able to hear conversational sounds and whispers as well.
Yeah.
If we don't catch babies with hearing problems early enough, then if by the age of 6 months they have not received hearing support if it is needed, then they will never speak normally. But if we can have children caught early with problems with newborn hearing, then we can support them, and we have a program along with the Sandy Lane Charitable Trust, who are very supportive in, we have a team who comes down a couple times a year to screen children who perhaps would need additional testing for hearing problems, and can provide support in terms of hearing aids and cochlear implants if necessary. So babies are screened at the hospital for that.
So those are special pediatric audiologists that
Yes.
work with the team.
Yes. And in addition to that, we test children for jaundice, which is a yellow color in the skin. Most babies will have some yellowing in the skin, but if it's very high and we don't treat it, it can cause brain damage.
Wow.
So because it's something that's completely preventable, all children are checked for that before they go home. So that is a fundamental screening program that we've been doing. And the nurses will come around and also ask you if you want to participate in the dried blood spot screening program. It's going to be a tiny nick on your baby's heel. You will feel it much more than baby. Baby will be fine. And our nurses, Leah and Sherelle, are very, very lovely. And you will see that they will take great care of your babies. And it's a quick blood drop on 4 little different spots on a blood card, which is then dried and sent to Canada, and we get the test results within a couple of weeks.
Needles can be scary for some, but as you rightly said, Dr. Birchwood, it would hurt you, the parent, more than the baby. And you say there's a conversation with your team and parents as they come in
Yes.
about the test. What is that conversation like?
So they will explain all the different elements of newborn screening, which we just talked about. Screening for heart conditions, for hearing loss, for jaundice, and also the screening for the nearly 50 different conditions which we can pick up from early, which is the dry blood spot screening. And so that screening will be done. The nurses will come to you and explain everything about it. Our babies even get something before the little heel prick. We call it, it's basically what is given to babies all over the world to prevent pain. It's something that's sweet. Yes. And just like us, babies have a sweet tooth. And so they get literally 1 ml, which is less than half a teaspoon of something sweet, and they're quite happy during the test. As I said, parents feel it more than babies. So it really is worth getting this test. You don't have to pay anything for it, and it can give your child answers early if it is needed, and really give your child the best start in life. They will give you a flyer as well to explain about all the different types of newborn screening that we're doing, and you're going to be seeing these flyers up in your polyclinics, and you'll see it at the clinic at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital so that you can be more aware of it. There's a QR code that you can click on to get more information. And so I'd encourage people to get as much information as possible and to avail themselves of the opportunity for this groundbreaking initiative that we have started.
And you mentioned so far that you've been able to identify a number of conditions in these small babies.
Yes, already.
And that alone gives you a level of optimism and
Yes.
encouragement
Yes.
about the program. What do you foresee over the next few months as more and more parents decide they want their children to get this level of detection and screening under this program, and basically encourage them to say yes, because it's still the choice of the parent, is it?
Yes. So, we would never force something on you, but we want you to take advantage of this. This is the only country in the English-speaking Caribbean that offers this. This is the only one. From Jamaica, Bahamas, all the way down to Guyana, we're the only ones who offer such a comprehensive program. And so I want people to remember that and not to be afraid when they come and ask you about the test. You would have heard about it, or you can ask as many questions as you like. There's no need to be hesitant. There's no harm to your baby. And so really I can't see a reason why a parent would not want to know well in advance if their child could have something that we can do something about. It isn't like we can't do something about these conditions. We can, and that's the point of checking for them.
Any other conditions that you want to mention which are detected under this screening program?
Yes. So another group of conditions which are considered to be common internationally are endocrine conditions. So that refers to conditions where the babies produce too many or too few of certain types of hormones. And I can name one type of hormone which is called thyroid hormone, produced by a gland in our necks. Some babies are born without the ability to produce that hormone. And if as a baby you have too little thyroid hormone and it isn't detected, because it's hard to pick up in the beginning, you can't tell by looking at a baby who's just been born. If they don't start treatment, then they have irreversible brain damage. And so, again, we want our children to have these conditions detected. We've already had a couple of conditions detected, and it is worthwhile to know about these things in advance and protect your child.
Will this improve the mortality rate in terms of the survival of some of those young infants who you care for in the neonatal intensive care unit, some of those compromised young babies?
You know, that's a very interesting question. So there are times when we've had babies, we've suspected a particular diagnosis, but we haven't had the means to confirm it. And so we are hoping that in those babies and children who we know there's something going on, and perhaps the testing might take long to come back, that we'll be able to preserve some children that way. We know that, for example, with our heart screening program, which we've been doing for some time, we've been able to pick up babies with serious heart conditions who looked well before they went out the door. And so any screening program has the potential to save lives. We will only be able to tell that after we've done this long enough to be able to look back and say, okay, this child would really have been in trouble had it not been for this program.
Right. Yes. And let's talk about those. We spoke about the corporate entities who have been providing support for us through the blood drive last week. A lot of that corporate help comes for your department. The Pediatrics department has been blessed with corporate support over the years, and of course technical support and medical support through agencies like the Shaw Center for Pediatric Care. And it must be for a reason. They see the direction that the program has been going in. You've reached this stage where you now have first world newborn screening for your babies. And I guess the only question is, what's next?
I have to thank all those entities who have supported us over the years. I think that people see the wisdom of investing in children. When you invest in children, you invest in the future. You invest for the long term. And so we are very, very happy for all the support we have received. We could always use more support. And really what we are looking forward to in the medium and long term is that we would like to see the level of care that we offer, not just our newborns, but our older children as well, our toddlers, our tweenies, our preteens, etc. We would love to see, if I had a pie in the sky goal, we would love to see them in their own separate wing, women and children's, because wherever that has happened, it's been shown to improve the overall standard of care. And women and children go hand in hand. And I think that would be a worthy long-term goal that I would love to see corporate Barbados get behind, and really see that we are able to continue to improve. We are fighting on behalf of our children, and God forbid your child gets sick, especially if they get very sick. It's very likely they're going to end up at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital at some point in time. So all of this support helps us to do our job even better.
When you say women and children, I think to that depiction on the side of the building, and I always wondered why it's only a mother and her two children. So when you speak about this and talk about the women and children and how much of a benefit that can give to the young babies and also the mothers, etc., it makes sense. It really does make sense, and it drives home the point why we need to continue to improve care in that way, targeted care. And through this program, we will see a lot more of that. Of course, as you said, a big thank you to the Shaw Center for Pediatric Care. They've been with us for quite a while now and really supporting programs at our hospital. And as you said, through this, 5,000 newborns are expected to be screened during the program's initial pilot phase. How long is that initial pilot phase?
Well, until we have 5,000 babies born. So get busy, Barbados. We want your children.
So sounds like an appeal from the Prime Minister, Mia Moore Bartley, about our declining population in some areas. But yes, and we have a growing elderly population, so get busy, Barbados.
I'm going to get a T-shirt that says that on it.
Get busy, Barbados.
Yes.
All right. Get busy in a safe manner. And we really want, parents to, if you need to ask questions and you need more information, how can they get that? Of course, once you share it with me, Dr. Birchwood,
Yes.
I'll put it up there. You go to our website, you will see a video that we have with you, Dr. Birchwood, and a member of your team speaking about the program. How can parents and people in general who are interested in what we are doing in the pediatrics department with the screening program get that information?
Well, we have on our team, I'll have to call her the tech whiz, which is Dr. Tanisha Austin, who put together a lot of the information for the program. And there are flyers that have a QR code on it. But in addition, there's a newborn screening website, and there is going to be a newborn screening contact number as well, so that parents can call directly if they have any concerns or any questions. And so I will provide that information to you so that you can put it on the QH website.
Definitely.
Yes.
Definitely, we will make that happen. So in terms of this program, when you get through the pilot phase, what will you be able to do with that data that you've collected? Because it's also a data collecting exercise.
Yes. So we are going to be collecting this data anonymously because we want to understand what conditions happen in our own population. So in other words, we're screening for the same number of conditions in a Canadian or American population. But perhaps our population doesn't have as many cases of X or Y. So when we get this important information from the pilot program, we'll be able to say, okay, these 10 conditions are the most common in our population. We don't need to screen perhaps for all 40. And this is where a partnership with our living lab will come in. We have some very, very skilled and eager scientists at the living lab, which is across the street from the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, who are eager to develop our own newborn screening program. They have the brains, they have the know-how, and so we just want to develop the capacity so that this will be sustainable and not a once in a while sort of initiative. This needs to be sustainable for the long term so that we don't lose the momentum and we're able to pick up the things that would concern us in our population.
Yes, and then you intend to publish a study once you've collected enough data, because what we normally see with these types of drives for information is that then we can come and share some updated information and on a more regular basis. Is that a component of the initiative?
Eventually it will be. But once we are talking a study, we're going to have to get parents to sign a consent for that. And so that is something that we do want to bring in because it's going to be very valuable information, as you rightly pointed out. And not just valuable for Barbados. We as an island, we don't stand alone. We have our partners in the Eastern Caribbean and throughout the Caribbean. And so although they perhaps will not have this program, a similar initiative, we need to share this information so they too can recognize what might be happening in their population. So yes, we definitely want to publish information anonymously. Of course, we are not going to be putting anybody's information out there, but for that we will need specific written consent. It's not something that we can do without parents' knowledge and information. So when that time comes, we will be asking parents for their consent, and if they don't consent, that's acceptable, and if they do, that will be acceptable. So at this point in time, that has not come on stream, but that is definitely the plan.
And you mentioned that we are the only country solo in the region to have this level of comprehensive screening for babies. What will that mean in terms of probably mothers and parents coming here to Barbados to try to get ahead of the curve and find out more about possible conditions that their babies may have so that they can be detected and addressed sooner rather than later?
So we know that we do have a population of people who reside in Barbados, who perhaps are not Barbadian citizens, but they might have been here on the welcome stamp. They might have decided to become legal residents of Barbados. And so anyone who's going to be residing in Barbados over the long term would certainly, any child who's born at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital is going to receive the individual information about their child from this newborn screening program. So that although when we think of our population, we might think of strictly Barbadians, we do have a sizable population of people who live here, who are from other countries, and who must be considered as well, because they'll be living here, and we will need to know how their presence will contribute to what we need to look for here in Barbados.
Yeah.
So, we have to consider them as well, and that's one of the reasons why we want all children eventually to be screened, hopefully in the not too distant future.
Yeah, if you go to our website and you want more information initially about this screening program for our youngest members of our population, you can go again to our website, www.qhconnect.com. You scroll down and then you will see the tab there, QEH launches groundbreaking newborn screening program. And you'll see who Dr. Birchwood is and hear her talking about the program. Get all of the details, please, because we want to continue to share this information with you. You may have a friend, you may have a relative who is about to have their baby, and you want to arm them with the information so that when they are in the hospital, and I can tell you this is something that I know for sure, 95% plus of babies are born at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Correct?
Yes, the majority of babies in Barbados are born at QEH.
So you will have the option, an expectant mother or your friend who may be expecting to give birth soon, they will be a part and have the opportunity to take advantage of this. So we want you to do that. So just again, Dr. Birchwood, as we prepare to wrap up the show in a few minutes, walk them through what they have to do. And we'll take a break. Actually, you know what? I see Kimberly there pointing at me. We'll take a quick break and come back with more of the Pulse Radio Show as we talk about this newborn screening program at our hospital.
For all your medical supply needs, visit MedSafe Medical Supplies Limited. We offer a wide range of products including wheelchairs, walkers, canes, crutches, blood pressure machines, stethoscopes, and so much more. Conveniently located on Gemmett's Lane, just a 2-minute walk from the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And for your convenience, we deliver free to the QEH. Open Monday to Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Call us at 624-7542. MedSafe Medical Supplies Limited, your trusted source for medical essentials.
Here on the Pulse Radio Show with you on Q100.7 FM. Dr. Birchwood is right next to me here. We've also been talking about World Cup. Everyone is in World Cup mode. So please, enjoy the World Cup, but make sure that you do what some of those gentlemen are doing on the pitch. Get up and move. And, it's all about maintaining better health at any age, especially at old age, like me. But for the young babies going through this newborn screening program, the mothers too, you need to still get up and walk around, and you'll get your instructions from your pediatrician, like Dr. Birchwood, who would guide you accordingly. Looking at the screening program, again, taking those mothers through the steps when they come in for that first consult, because I'm thinking now the information will be shared with them from there, rather than waiting, to after birth.
Right. So after the newborn screening is done, that is all the comprehensive screening, the heart screening, jaundice, etc. The dried blood spot screening is the result that takes a couple of weeks to come back. And the lab in Ontario that runs the samples will flag as an alert any samples that are suspicious, that need repeating, or any samples that just say this child is positive for this particular screen. Now, a positive screen does not mean that your child definitely has the condition. Further testing will then need to be done to confirm the condition in most cases. So when you get a call that your child has been screened positive for something, don't scream just yet. Come, because we have to do the confirmatory testing. You will be called. Please make sure you give your up-to-date contact information to Nurse Leah or Nurse Sherelle so that you can be contacted. We don't want that we have information that's important for your child and we've changed your phone number. So please make sure that we have phone number, email, address. We need to be able to find you in case there's information that's important for you to be aware of. And you will get a call if your screen is positive. Now, If your screen is negative, you will get an email. Okay, but if your screen is positive, you'll get a call that tells you come in for repeat testing so that we can be 100% sure.
Nice. We must be sure that we are addressing the concerns of the parent, but of course, more importantly, the baby.
Yes.
The baby, identifying what is the problem and share with you, and then letting you know how we will deal with it after that early detection.
Yes.
I just really want to thank you, Dr. Birchwood, for your service at our hospital. 2 decades is not 20 days at all. And you have been serving the nation well, making sure that our babies survive, especially those extremely small ones that you deal with.
My favorites.
Your favorites in the NICU.
Yes.
Talk a bit about the NICU too, because this program is across the board for pediatrics.
Yes.
But NICU now, that's another level of care that we offer.
Yes.
The neonatal intensive care unit,
Yes.
where you deal with those premature babies.
Yes, so we deal with the premature and sick older babies who can't be with their parents for one reason or another. And they too will fall under the program, the newborn screening program, because all of our children, we want them all screened. And so in fact, it's actually more important to screen them, because some of the presentations of illness that we might assume are perhaps due to an infection or something else might actually be related to one of those conditions that we are screening for. And so all children who are born at the QH will have the opportunity, and we want to expand this. This is just a pilot program. We want to expand this to allow all children born in Barbados. So hopefully we'll be able to say something more specific about that aspect later on.
Yes, and again, all the details we will be sharing with you right here on the Pulse Radio Show via our website, www.qhconnect.com. And if you have any further questions, you can always call our Patient Advice and Liaison Service at 536-4800. Final thoughts from you today as we look to more babies to be screened, as we tick off those numbers to 5,000 under the newborn screening program?
Yes. So final thoughts. Thank you so much to the Shaw Center for Pediatric Excellence for their support. Thank you to the hospital leadership for their support as well. I want all parents to know about it, not be afraid of it. It is a relatively painless process for your child. It can give your child a chance at having the best start in life. And I would like to thank all the members of our team, which includes Dr. Tanisha Austin, nurse, all of our nurses, which is Nurse Leah, Nurse Sherelle, and I will not forget Nurse Tracia Beckles, who has been very supportive in the background. I will be murdered on site when I get back to the QH for calling their names, but their names need to be called.
Listen, a blessing our team is to support you and the work that you do, your specialty, and really to support the work under the strategy at the Queen Elizabeth Hospital, because all of this moves us to a state where we offer a higher level of care, a better level of care for our not only the patients, not only our visitors, but our staff as well. I also want to say this afternoon, as we get into afternoon, it's still morning, 5 minutes before morning, a lot of our hospital is moving.
Yes.
And when I say moving, these are those departments located over the road at Enmore. This is all a part of our Enmore redevelopment. You may have heard about this in the media, so that continues apace. And most of the departments which our staff interface with have now been moved, or are in the process of moving. One big one that interfaces with the public is the ENT clinic, ear, nose, throat. That clinic is soon expected to be moved. Of course, we'll be sharing the details through our usual channels. You can always check the government information services as well, because we will share it with them so that they can share it with the public as well. Please keep connected to us. Continue to check our website. Continue to call the Patient Advice and Liaison Service. Continue to call the PBX, because we will share the information to let you know more about the move of the ENT clinic
and
when
pediatric.
It happens.
ENT and pediatrics are housed together, so we'll both be moving together.
Yes. So more details to come on that. We'll tell you where exactly we'll be moving. The times are expected to be the same, and we will not be moving far. it will be in the Belleville area. So we'll give you more details on that on the Pulse Radio Show and through our usual media channels. I really want to thank you, Dr. Birchwood. It feels like I've spent a lot of time with you recently, really highlighting this newborn screening program. I'm very happy to do that. I don't want to see you go. I would like you to stay at the hospital forever and ever. And I will leave that there. I also want to thank our listeners for spending the time with us today, and of course continue as we have many more episodes to come during this season 5 of the Pulse Radio Show. Next week we will be looking at oncology, the Carolina Center for Oncology, and we got something big to talk about there. Some of the results under the Linear Accelerator program, they're looking good. More and more people are being treated, those with various forms of cancer, and we're really happy to share those results with you next week. So in with us we'll have Corey Drakes. He is our lead medical physicist at the hospital, and also our lead oncologist, Dr. Lalitha Sripathi. She'll be joining the radio show as well. So until then, we bid you farewell. Have a good week. Please stay healthy, keep moving, and enjoy the World Cup. Until we see you next time on the Pulse Radio Show next week, Monday at 11 a.m. See you then.
Thank you so very much, Shane. Pulse Radio Show brought to you with the kind compliments of MedSafe Medical Supplies Limited.
For all your medical supply needs, visit MedSafe Medical Supplies Limited. We offer a wide range of products including wheelchairs, walkers, canes, crutches, blood pressure machines, stethoscopes, and so much more. Conveniently located on Gemmetts Lane, just a 2-minute walk from the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. And for your convenience, we deliver free to the QEH. Open Monday to Saturday, 8:30 a.m. to 5:30 p.m. Call us at 624-7542. MedSafe Medical Supplies Limited, your trusted source for medical essentials.